How does a kid from Italy who spent 7 years in a refugee camp and whose family had no ties to racing develop into one of the greatest drivers in motorsports history? For a man who sailed by the Statue of Liberty at age 15, what core elements live rooted in the psyche to produce the winner of the Monaco Grand Prix and a Formula One title, the Indianapolis 500 and 4 IndyCar titles, and even the Daytona 500?
I'm still trying to figure that one out myself.
Mario Andretti won 69 races across Formula One, open-wheel cars, sports cars, NASCAR, and IROC. It didn't matter the car, Andretti found a way to go fast. I know you've heard that about other drivers, most notably Tony Stewart and Kyle Larson in recent years. But Andretti, you kids don't know just how fast Andretti could drive a race car. Now, don't take it from me. Al Unser Jr. won 36 IndyCar races, and he'll tell you how fast Andretti would go, as he spent plenty of laps trying to catch him.
Mario was fast. No matter what he drove, he was fast. And so when I started racing and Mario was in our races, during practice, I would try to follow Mario out there and learn why he was so fast. And I concentrated on that, and that's what we did. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
Andretti learned to go fast at a young age. Too young, if you want to know the truth. We think we're beyond the statute of limitations for him to tell the story of when he and his twin brother Aldo started racing.
When we started racing professionally, you had to be 21. And we built a car, figure, it's going to take this long. No, the car was finished 2 years before 21. So we were 19. And Aldo and I were not going to wait. We fudged the driver's license, we had somebody that did that for us. And we started at age 19.
Their secret blew up when Aldo wrecked and landed in the hospital. Until then, even their father didn't know the extent of their competitive racing. But nothing could deter Mario Andretti from getting in a car and going fast. He saw stock cars as his avenue to racing, not in NASCAR, but in open-wheel cars. That seemed so foreign and not doable. But Mario Andretti had seen perseverance and patience in action. Who would tell a kid whose parents needed 3 years to obtain visas to emigrate to the United States that maybe they might want to consider giving up?
We were actually victims of World War II, like millions of others. And we're looking for a new world, we applied for visas, and it took 3 years for those visas to come through. But did my dad ever give up? We were, cruising under Statue of Liberty, March 15, 1955.
If you have a goal to come to a new country and it takes more than 3 years, it probably builds a foundation of faith where no dream looms too large, no mountain peak too treacherous, and no goal too unattainable. Match that dream with the love of driving and voila, you have Mario Andretti racing different cars, winning slews of trophies across the globe.
And I was curious. And I want to see, what does it take to win here, win there, not just drive, but win. And that was what drove me, that curiosity factor. But and it's call it ambition, yes, but nothing wrong to be ambitious.
Just how driven current IndyCar driver Alexander Rossi can put in perspective, as he learned the Mario Andretti definition of driven when they conducted straight-line testing at the Kennedy Space Center. These cruise control runs and engine parameter tests, very scripted and mundane, up and down the runway, included no competition aspect. Rossi remembers a conversation with Andretti after those runs.
I was in car A and he was in car B. And he was like, well, how fast did you go? Like, what was the quickest lap you did from one end to the other? And I'm like, I don't even know how you keep track of that, because I was focused on other things, right? So it doesn't matter what he's doing, even something that's unscorable, like a straight line test, he's still trying to be the best.
Bro, well, of course he tried to post the fastest time. He has never shied away from that.
Driving is the only thing that really mattered to me. That's all I wanted to do. in motor racing. I didn't have any other ambition. I didn't have any ambition to become an owner or anything like that. I want to drive because that's the guy that holds a trophy.
Andretti raced trophies in victory lanes around the world. He won 52 IndyCar races, including the 1969 Indy 500. He won his class in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. He won 12 Formula One races, including one in 1977 in his adopted home country at Long Beach, and then followed up later that year by winning in his true home country at Monza. When you talk about special moments in an incredible career, Andretti felt the specialness of that one.
I win in Monza, where I saw my very first race at age 14. And that's when my dream, ultimate dream of becoming a driver began. So you can imagine the satisfaction I derived from that. You know, in the same year, you know, bookends, you know, the most meaningful Formula One races for me.
For a win to have meaning to Andretti required certain elements. 10 years earlier, he had won the 1967 Daytona 500, but he didn't just win the Daytona 500. His attitude about that victory tells you everything you need to know about Mario Andretti. He didn't just beat the best with a lucky pass for a win, thanks to attrition and the super speedway style of racing. Nope, he led 118 of the 200 laps. No one could say Andretti didn't deserve to win the race, and that, to him, means everything.
118 of 200 laps. So I dealt with the top guys, with the Pearsons, the Pettys, and the Allisons, you know, the top guys of the moment in NASCAR throughout the race. And we came, you know, come out ahead. Freddie Lorenzo was my teammate, and he was the golden boy of NASCAR at the time, you know, so, and he finished second. So there's the other thing, when you win, who is second to you? That's another area. I mean, win is a win. Don't get me wrong. But how you win it.
How you win can take many forms. When he won at Monza in 1977, he just turned down an offer from Ferrari. How does an Italian driver turn down Ferrari? Because to Andretti, he believed it as the best decision at the time in his racing career. A year later, he won the Formula One title, clinching it at all places in Monza. Faith, I tell you. Andretti admits he didn't make all the right career decisions. He just had all the ambition that seemed to surpass everything else.
He's really the gold standard of a racing driver, because he was around in that era where you could go from a NASCAR to an IndyCar to a Formula One car to a sprint car to a sports car in 5 consecutive weekends. And that's just, it's impossible now. It's what every driver would love to do, but it's just not the nature of the sport anymore. And not only did he compete in all those, he was competitive, he won in all those. And he sort of represents, I think, for a lot of drivers, past, present, future.
He represents it even today at 85 years old. He maintains social media accounts that he actually will look at. He remains involved in the sport, and as he walks through the paddock and pit road, fans, officials, and drivers treat him like the royalty he so absolutely deserves. Even to the kids who don't know the remarkable story, they can feel his presence, and not just the kids feel it. When baseball legend Alex Rodriguez attended the St. Petersburg Grand Prix earlier this year, Andretti introduced himself, and Rodriguez replied, "It's my first race ever of all time, but I'm a huge fan of yours." Hall of Famer to Hall of Famer, respect. Rodriguez probably didn't know Andretti's full story. When they took photos, Andretti tried to stand on his toes to get a little taller next to Rodriguez. It triggered laughs from the photographers, and for a rare moment, Rodriguez didn't rank as the coolest guy in the frame. Andretti doesn't need to tell you his story. His unassuming swagger, his smile, his laugh, and the knowledge he could probably still outdrive you says it all. Mario Andretti created a charmed life of combining racing talent with an incredible desire, faith, and confidence that few could ever hope to match.
Nothing worthwhile is ever easy, yes. But when you accomplish some of the goals, that's the ultimate satisfaction you derive. And that's what it's been, you know, in my life. I feel I'm totally blessed by the fact that some of the, I'd say, most ambitious dreams that I had as a youngster, I was able to satisfy.